these two assholes make fun of me and fucking when we're playing Street Fighter when Julio was here. You guys gang up on me with the 9/11 jokes and yeah. So
yeah, that's how you start a
podcast. So.
Well, we're here, guys. Welcome back, and we're up to episode 10 of the Punch Out podcast, that's hosted by us, the Uptown Strangers, and by us we mean Stefan, Brenden,
Hi-yo.
And we have another special guest stranger with us today. Please announce yourself, stranger.
Hello, I am Jimmy Gubitosi.
You suck, dick. You suck.
I can't join in.
Where's my introduction?
You want? Well, we have the cold open, so that's gonna be cold open of us talking to you.
Wait, okay, so then we need an introduction. Okay, the beast from the east.
No, that doesn't work.
The man with the mean jeans.
Nope, that doesn't. Nope. All the way from Ronkonkoma, Long Island, it's the man who can't pronounce water, Jimmy, full of poopie Gubitosi. There you go.
Well, it's a good thing that only the train station's Ronkonkoma.
I know. You're from Smith Haven?
No.
Smithtown.
No.
What?
Patchogue?
Patchogue. Yeah.
Cucamonga.
This is my buddy who we became friends at the comic store, which, ironically enough, Stefan met once or twice and probably doesn't remember.
I don't remember anybody from that store, so it's okay.
Something that I was thinking about as I was walking up here is that we're all the way uptown, and you went all the way down to 23rd Street just to get comic books?
Well, And he went to Baruch.
No, I didn't go to Baruch.
I thought you went to Baruch. No,
I didn't go to Baruch. I went to Hunter.
Hunter House, honestly.
No, the reason why I went all the way down there, to be honest with you, I hang out a lot in 14th Street, but it's going to sound really corny, but the reason why I went there were the people. I actually really hate, like, comic book stores a lot.
Thank you.
They're really, because they can be really, like, Midtown Comics I always feel very alienated in. They're just like, just buy it and go. That's how I always felt there, but Manhattan Comics, everyone kind of remembered me. We were able to actually talk about comics, which was really nice.
Yeah.
We didn't judge you on what you bought.
You didn't judge me. I could walk in with a shitty hoodie and crappy jeans and get respect.
And still mispronounce your name.
Because unless I walk in with, like, the hipster clothing at Midtown Comics, for some reason, they didn't want to talk to me. So.
Well, we, as much as the money and getting profit for the books mattered, like, our former boss, who I'm not going to name, just really stressed upon being friendly to the customers and making sure that
it worked.
You got a smile and that you remember and you bring up conversation, and I've always just kind of been like that anyway. But you're right about Midtown. Midtown's very, very corporate. Not a bad store, just very corporate. I like Forbidden Planet the best.
I like Forbidden Planet too. I've had some pretty snobbish experience with some of the people there, but
being that I worked for Midtown, I can't talk crap about them. Well, yeah, I can. They fucking suck. No, but they're very smart in how they make their money. Yeah, for me personally, like, buying comics outside of the parameters of what shop I used to shop at, and even when I used to buy comics on its own, Forbidden Planet was kind of like the place I went to. But no, I would go to Jim Hanley's. I loved the old Jim Hanley's. The new ones, like, it's okay, but it's like now a hole in the wall.
I don't think I've still ever been there.
Yeah, the new Jim Hanley's is pretty dope.
It's very different.
I was only at St. Mark's once in 4 years.
Yeah. Oh, man, St. Mark's Comics.
The way that they treat their comics, I just... Anyway, Jimmy.
Like, there was... It's funny, because I used to be friends with a lot of the people that worked at St. Mark's Comics, just through friends of a friend.
Because he only hires hot girls.
He only hires hot girls,
yeah.
And apparently he's a son of a bitch to them, too.
Oh, yeah, no, we know horror stories about that, man. But Jimmy, what brings you here today?
Just wanted to hang out with you guys.
Oh yeah, you could have said, "Hey, yeah, Brendan's like my brother, and I'd like to hang out with him, and he's like family."
No, I've been trying to make a point to come on for a little while, and stuff is gotten in the way of that. And
Woo!
are we picking that up, please?
Yeah,
Yes.
we are.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
It'll come up on the headset. That's amazing. And this was your weekly edition of Harlem Sounds.
No,
Harlem City.
I've been trying to come on for a while, and life's been pretty crazy with the amount of work I've been doing, and now things are just kind of settling down. So
Settling down like one Mr. Gubitosi here. And by settling down, shout out to Kieran. Wah, 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 wah.
I'd like to be more involved, and I hope that you guys see a lot more of me. And
Oh, yeah. If you remember our Instagram feed from Comic-Con, he was the mysterious fourth member of US. So
I signed, and I was waiting to make my debut. So.
yeah, we kept you in NXT for like a month. I was like,
of U.S. Team America.
Can I tell you, Jimmy, that like I've slowly kind of been shuffling like wrestling into the store to people who don't watch it. So for Stefan the other day, I was like, hey, you gotta check this out, and I played him the Vaudevillains entrance
Oh my
from
god!
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And Stefan was like, oh my god, they're so amazing. So then there's another guy named Daniel in our story, big mohawk, and New Day had come out, and he saw Xavier Woods playing the trumpet and the trombone.
Oh my
music.
god, you would love him.
And he's the one that I showed you. He's a black guy that has the up down
Yeah, he has
YouTube page.
his own video game channel.
So he was playing the trumpet, and Daniel was like, "Oh my god, that's awesome! And why they're wearing unicorn heads? And why is that big guy gyrating?" And then I showed
Why is
him.
the big guy gyrating?
I showed him when they made a
is it
debut
gyrating?
of like their trombone again. And the shit was amazing.
Is a question for you.
What's that?
Is Kenny Omega coming back to WWE?
No, so Kenny Omega actually sent a challenge to one of the guys in the New Day.
Yeah, 'cause
but they're like really close friends.
Yeah, I saw that. That's why I was wondering, like, what's
I
going
love
on
Kenny
there?
Omega. Well, he's in New Japan. He took over like the top spot. So AJ Styles left and is now in WWE. So he kind of took over that AJ Styles role in New Japan. Oh man, this makes me want to have a wrestling podcast.
NXT is just making such a big impact on a lot of things.
Triple H is making.
Well,
an impact on a
Triple
lot of
H
things.
is NXT,
But we're not into wrestling because Stefan will cut this podcast off very short.
No.
But
I won't.
WWE is just starting to get a lot of the international big stars, and
They're doing what they did in the late '90s, which they needed to do, and that was build for the future. Because at this point, look at what happened with all the injuries. Now, if you kind of look at the roster, you're like, it's kind of getting stacked up there, like in terms of like main roster stuff. But I'm not. Again, we're not gonna bore you with wrestling talk.
It's
Jimmy,
weird how like people who are very much into comic books and stuff really get into wrestling too.
It's fun. It's a
Very similar
storyline.
themes and
very
everything.
similar themes, and it's kind of not that they wear costumes because they don't, but seeing people in sort of uniformic. I think I just made up that word. Costumes fighting each other.
We'll check the database.
Uniformic.
And especially people like Finn Balor, who is like
Demon.
who only in pay-per-views is almost head to toe in body paint and looks like a demon. Like, that is cool as shit. And really what got me into it was Bray Wyatt, because his dialogue is almost supervillain like, and it's so well written and so maniacal and cryptic that it just kind of really draws you in. Do you remember that, the Chris Jericho?
Yeah. And what I was
Wyatt
gonna
feud?
say is, at one point that I was looking very close like Bray Wyatt with the beard and the long hair. That all I had to do was just wet my hair, and I'm just like, what are we all doing here?
Walk
And then
around with a sheet mask and you're part of the Wyatts.
Yeah, exactly. So Jimmy, you want to talk about the little short film that you made last summer?
Okay, yeah. So, I started writing this film probably mid last year, and it was for my senior senior thesis.
Okay, Tyson.
And when you think of art school and you think of independent filmmakers, and a lot of the filmmakers make like really big, not big, but like art dramas and comedies and just really, really serious shit.
Like the slow motion flipping of a flapjack by a clown in black and white. It's a sad piano.
How do you know?
Come on, man. I know fine art.
I think they screened that exactly. But yeah, no, just like artsy pieces about like love and romance, but you know, like stuff like that,
About
dramas
love and
and dark stuff, and I just wanted to kind of break the mold and do something that a lot of school filmmakers don't do is
Killing their best friend.
make a really over-the-top action movie. And
Oh no, we're serious about killing
I like
his best
that.
friends.
and
on
I like to
screen.
have Brenden involved with things because he always just kind of levels me out when
Oh.
I'm kind of stressed or like in the zone. And
Zip.
I thought it would be funny in literally the second scene of the movie to have the main character bust through a door and shoot him in the head.
Which the story on how that whole setup, and which we'll save for another day, was amazing. Because the first take didn't go.
I could sum it up really fast.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, but how it originally came was like, I was like, Brenden, I want you involved in this movie. Like, you're not going to have a big part, but I want you to somehow make a cameo in everything I do. And he's like, yeah, all right, like, I'll do it. Just tell me when, and I'll be on set. And so we had, a while ago, I was trying to make a Batman film, and we had Brenden in disguise as a hobo.
Which was awesome.
Like, sitting on the street.
In
and
disguise. He showed
that
up
never
that
saw
way.
the light of day at all. But this one, I was like, didn't tell him until like almost the day of that I'm going to kill you in this movie.
And I got super excited. I was just like, I'm all for it.
Really?
so I was like, you gotta wear clothes that
Mean nothing to you.
mean nothing to you, that we could ruin, that we could just totally fuck up. And I wasn't expecting you to wear a beanie. Oh, you weren't wearing a beanie. I gave you a beanie for that scene. And so what happened was my dad came up with a really easy squib rig, which was a tube of fish wire.
The fish tubes. For the tank.
Fish tank filter tubing, which is really clear.
FFTBB.
And I bought about a gallon of blood for $20 from Party City, and with I poured blood into the tubing, bent it so that it wouldn't go all the way down the tubing, and then hooked up an air compressor to the bottom of it and put it at like a really, really low setting. So we connected it through his shirt into the hat so it had a place to stick up. And on a count of 3, 1, 2, 3, press the button. The blood totally missed the shot.
Missed,
it wasn't
and it
even
hit
in
the
a
ceiling.
shot at all.
It missed and went straight up into the ceiling. It was so great.
What a weird death.
Even at an extremely low setting of air, it just shot completely straight up. Didn't get the frame, and I was like, "Holy fuck! We actually have a second take of this." And so we rigged it up again, and the blood shot perfectly against the wall. How it was totally in frame, totally perfect. Except your co-host cannot die at all.
No. I'm going to show you. I'm looking for it right now.
Brenden is the worst dyer I've ever seen.
You know,
and even
Well, I don't know. I've never had experience dying, so you know.
It's kind of funny
even
I
in the
can see
stages
that.
of editing that we're in, the continuity in his scene is so fucking all over the place.
It's awesome.
Because Brenden can't die, and even when he's dying, he's blinking a lot in shots too. So I think I need to cut out like maybe 3 seconds of him dead on the couch with his eyes wide open and just continuously loop that because he blinks so much. Oh yeah, he's got the video.
Yeah, go ahead. Just keep talking.
Yeah,
It's
can
gotta
you,
load
like-
from the cloud?
I'll give you permission to post that anywhere if you want to post it somewhere.
Eventually, yeah.
I mean, it's recorded iPhone footage, but
Get ready for it. Ready? Boom!
But notice how I fucking can't talk. As soon as he gets shot in the head, both of his hands instantly go up like this. Like he's just kind of confused.
Oh no! It's
I
a
died!
bullet. I guess I'm dead now.
Oh well.
I think his exact mindset of when he died was, whoops, I died. It's
Oh
like,
no, I'm dead.
Is this what death is?
I-
Am I supposed to do this?
As I was watching him do it, because I also die in the scene probably about a second after he dies, because I need to have directorial cameos.
Jimmy's death is so awesome. He kind of looks like somebody that gets a cold chill and then dies. He goes like this. I kid you not. He got shot. He went.
No, I went down. I went down onto a pizza box.
That's right.
But I got shot in the chest. But I think I was kind of watching him as he was dying and thought it was either like he was in Pac-Man and made a mistake and died, or it was in the original Mario where you just accidentally jump a little bit too far into one of those holes.
No.
Well, the thing is, this is what messed me up. When the cannon went off the second time and the blood hit the wall, I hear from everybody in the background. And everybody starts laughing. And I'm like, fuck, I'm going to laugh and I'm going to ruin this. That's going to be a good shot. So I'm just going to go over here and cover my face so nobody sees me laughing.
Also, when we were planning all of this, I didn't take into account how hard something like that would be in getting the timing correctly, because the prop guns that we have were...
Those shits were scary. I'm not gonna lie. There's something scary about having a real gun pointed at you.
The prop guns that we have were pop guns, and they had an orange tip on the front, so that way nothing can go out, and nothing can even go out of it in general, because it's just a shell with gunpowder in it. So it pops open, and a little spark comes out, and it just makes a really loud sound. But it's as loud as fireworks, which is the only problem. So as soon as that gun goes off, the mics instantly hit red. And wasn't even struggling. It was just, you know how see how the frequency up there, and now it's kind of like, oh, I can't get it to red, but it gets red and it kind of just bounces back and forth.
Thanks.
And it just kind of goes back and forth. As soon as the gun went off, it went red and didn't move.
That was the last thing.
And I was like, you know what? These are already loud. We already have the sound of the gun going off, so we don't need to waste any more shells and blow people's ears out. So we just kind of had to do literally a 1, 2, 3 maneuver, and it was just kind of door kicks open, points at Brenden, points to me. 1, 2, 3. So, not only did the gun move have to be on cue, but Brenden had to be on cue, and the blood had to be on cue at the same time.
And it all worked fucking awesomely, which we couldn't believe.
Yeah, because...
After the first fuck up, too.
Because we did rehearsals on top of our rehearsals to try to get that to work perfectly. And, it worked pretty good. And it looks really good, besides me having to fix all your fuck ups, but
that's fine.
But no, you successfully died and got your first film credit. So.
Yay! And Stefan gets to be in the next movie.
No.
Can Stefan just be a clerk that hates everybody?
Can we kill him too?
I've actually been killed in a movie before.
Can he actually?
What kind of kill? Because I'm thinking your stomach gets ripped open.
Oh no! I had my throat slit and my face fall into a bowl of
How'd they
cereal.
do the throat slit?
They had that powder that when it touches it's like a liquid on the knife. It turns into blood.
Oh, that's one way to do it. I found a way, because I was going to do a throat slit in this movie, but it was going to happen with a credit card, a broken credit card.
That's an awful way to die.
That's terrifying.
Well, there's a I don't remember.
It looks like your charge has been declined.
I don't remember the exact name of the movie, but there's a Steven Seagal movie where he kills 3 or 4 people with a credit card. And
I can see that.
We'll look that up after this.
I was like, I want to kind of do something like this, but there's a thing where you can get a thin tube with a cut in it.
We're giving you that rapid up cue.
Oh, with a little slit in it, and then you kind of just hide it with makeup, and kind of tuck your neck under so your shirt covers it, and then when you get hit, it's like compression, and it shoots out, and it just can keep shooting out like a jugular. I like practical effects, so
Well, they wanted to the thing was they wanted to cut my throat, and then drown me in the bowl of cereal I was eating.
Welcome to movie talk.
I like that.
Since I'm a big dude, they were like, "You're eating a big." I was like some drug mafia dude, so they were like, "You are eating a big ass bowl of cereal."
What kind of cereal?
I forgot what it was. It's probably like Cheerios.
This is a very important factoid.
Uh-oh.
No, okay.
It's gonna go on IMDb.
Fruity Pebbles is a very different cereal than Cheerios.
I actually really like Fruity Pebbles.
I love Fruity Pebbles.
All right, and with that, guys, we'll be back with some more content after this break.
Hi, everybody. We are back, and we are joined with Jimmy at the hip.
Hello. You love me.
And of course, we are going to our
News to...
Whoa. Calm your tits. I wanted Jimmy to give us our little intro. Don't copy him. Make the
I don't...
flavor.
Here comes a brand new flavor in your ear.
He beat me to it.
All right, wait. Let's see if we could do
the news of the week, people.
Let's see if we could do the acapella, like news.
All right, somebody was off key.
That was me. I went a little higher after that. All
right.
that made me have to fart really bad.
Please don't. We're all together in this small, tight space. I don't...
Normally,
and by that, I mean we're all in Jimmy's
I'm
pockets.
holding it in because Jimmy's here.
Cool.
Honestly.
All right, guys. So, Stefan, Fallout and the Elder Scrolls designer Todd Howard teased 3 new projects from Bethesda Game Studios during his talk at this week's DICE Summit, saying that the in-development titles are different from when the studio has created before.
Oh, my back.
I know, that's how you feel. What do you think about that?
That's pretty cool. I mean, I'm excited for Darkwater. I don't know if... Did you see any of the images for it? Where... It's going to be a whole new land to explore that's going to be apparently huge as hell. It has this, like, pirate-esque kind of, like, maybe Bioshock-ish kind of theme.
That's all you have to tell me.
And they're also going to do the robot fights. So you get to create robots, build them, collect them kind of like Pokemon.
So sort of like a Titanfall meets...
Sort of,
Bioshock.
except it's a battle arena. So it's battle bots.
Oh, okay, that's dope.
Yeah.
I'm
excited about that. Well, you know, one thing though that I'm kind of worried about is what they're going to do with one of the other projects, probably an Elder Scrolls series,
which should be announced at they just announced their 2nd annual Bethesda conference.
Yeah.
Oh,
which is going to be interesting.
By the way, we have planned, I think we talked about this, like our super duper E3 special that we're going to
have a very super special strange edition of E3 where we talk about we live stream our thoughts on the conferences that are going to be happening, the Bethesda, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo,
EA, Activision, blah, 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 blah.
We're not going to do the Ubisoft one because that's just too cringeworthy. No, we'll do it. And yeah, we're going to talk about it and have fun with it. So please join us for that when we do it. If we don't, then, you know, maybe we'll
I got a quote from old Towie Howard. We actually have 3 longer-term projects that are all... We'll talk about them in a much future date, meaning the fucking Bethesda conference.
Yeah.
They're different from anything we've done, while we're also being a Bethesda-style game. Big and crazy, Howard said, but in many difference from what we've done before. Bethesda's also currently working on a trio of downloadable add-ons for Fallout 4 and overhauling the game's survival mode. Changes to the survival mode, Howard said, has resulted in some of the most fun I've had in the game.
You know, I would like to see them improve on the crap. What is it called? The engine that they use.
Oh, it's not Frostbite.
No. The whatever. I would like to see them work on it because it's starting to feel dated. Fallout 4 is still based off of the old engine that was used with Fallout 3.
Yeah.
Just with like a graphical update. That's it. Update.
Okay, I see where you're going there.
Bruno.
You might like this, Jimmy. GameStop will start selling the PlayStation Sony VR headset this fall, CEO Paul Rain said. The retailer said in an interview with Fox Business Morning yesterday, which was when I wrote this down. Asked about GameStop's interest in virtual reality, Rain said that the company is right now preparing for the launches of the major VR products, including this, the Oculus Rift, and the HTC Vive. GameStop is currently in discussions with Oculus VR and HTC about selling their headsets, according to Rains, but he confirmed that GameStop would stock PlayStation VR, saying, "We will launch the Sony product this fall."
All this talk makes me realize how so not in touch with games I am anymore.
Well, Jimmy, I actually have a question for you. With like the introduction of things like VR, and with the leaps in technology, with things like, you know, when Avatar first came out and really revolutionized the way we see 3D movies now. Do you think that there's a market in the future for cinematic storytelling via VR? And
it's funny that you mention that because they're actually working towards that right now. I've seen lots of articles about people making films and even trying to test out like almost virtual reality, choose your own fate types of movies.
That's cool.
And it's not so much virtual reality. That's more in the games department.
Mm-hmm.
But they are trying to figure out ways into doing deciding your fate.
Look
Like
at
choose
how,
your own
look how
adventure.
Like Goosebumps type movies where it's like which I don't really know how they would do that. Would it be like
360 video? Like
no. They're trying to do something like, if you want option A, you have to go to this theater and watch the rest of this. Like I don't really know how they would do it, but
so you get to be put through the eyes of the little girl who gets scared.
Well, remember when Final Destination had that? They did that special DVD where you can choose to keep who dies and who doesn't in the DVD.
yeah.
Maybe that they can improve on something like that.
Remember when they had that IMAX thing?
But
Yeah.
Where
that's
we press the buttons and the audience
that's what I
votes?
was gonna say is that the closest thing to the virtual reality is kind of what Brenden says, the IMAX, and
the
even
360 videos.
even with
I
even
love
with
those
those big IMAX theaters that
yeah.
are like the nature documentaries and stuff that it's literally all around you.
Like the one in the museum.
Yeah, like the one in the museum. I don't really know much about them trying to enable virtual reality, but Avatar was a big thing, and though the story isn't really that good, it's a technological achievement.
I forgot to name
There's
the
also
three.
porn.
Yeah, I forgot the
There's a lot
three
of VR
DLCs
porn right
for
now.
Fallout 4 are titled Automatron, The Wasteland Workshop, and Far Harbor. And speaking of VR, the price for the HTC Vive, the virtual reality headset collaboration between Valve and HTC, stop that, leaked online, and it's going to be for $799.
Have any of you ever
Exactly.
done a VR and Oculus Rift before?
I did it for Game of Thrones
I
in
tried
Westeros.
the Oculus Rift one. That was pretty fun.
There was I've only tried it once at the MoMA. They had an exhibit, and it was an Oculus Rift thing, and you kind of had to make your way through this maze,
Mm-hmm.
but it was all like, kind of like if you looked at an X-ray, and it was the like black with that really bright white
Mm-hmm.
when you see your bones, and it was all like trees. Like I don't really know how to. It was like Slender Man in the woods, but without Slender Man.
So without the fear and anxiety.
But it was kind of cool. Like you had to make your way through this thing, and I was just I had someone record what I looked like on the outside, and it was literally just walking in odd formations, like I was wasted or something.
Get this drunk. By the way, I don't think the HTC is gonna compete very well.
Well, they do have the backing of Valve, so let's see what happens. The next Left 4 Dead is a fucking Vive exclusive.
let's look at
There's
the
a few
Valve
games that I always
box and
wanted to
all
play that I never got a chance to play, and Left 4 Dead is one of them, and so is Fallout. Like it took me years to pick up BioShock, because like I said, I'm so far behind.
Missing out.
But
We have
I seem
an
to be
idea
in
for a
touch with
series
the
review.
Arkham games because I love the Arkham games.
Except the last
The
one.
last
which
one
is
was
terrible.
I'm still
interesting.
playing Arkham Knight.
Yeah, well, get ready for disappointment. Anyway, speaking of Fallout, the DICE Awards was also this weekend, and the game of the year goes to Fallout 4. Other big winners include Ori and the Black Forest, which is pretty dope indie game, Rocket League, and so on and so forth. And Mortal Kombat won Best Fighting Game because I know you like your fighting.
I
games.
love Mortal Kombat X. It plays a lot more like Injustice does than normal Mortal Kombat, and Predator is a beast.
I was gonna say, like, I like the introduction. Like, they added those, like, what do they call those? The different variations for each character.
Yeah, based
that
upon
was-
the abilities.
Mhm.
Yeah,
like
and
that alone is just like leaps ahead of every other fighter out there, because no longer do you have to just sit with this one type of character.
I just kind of
and-
groan every time I had to fight Jason, because Jason just
I love Jason.
Jason just kind of comes back to life, and you're like, really? I just spent all this effort beating
I know,
the
it's
shit
like,
out of you.
damn it, crap.
I loved Mortal Kombat X. So.
I like the like I said, I like the additions. I love the variations to like the different. I don't when I say variations this time, I don't mean the specific variations. I mean variations for characters. Like having a character who use a bow. It's like, how do you have a bow?
The
in a
character
fight
that's a trapper, and the character that I forgot his name. I'm not good with names. The big guy that has the little guy on top of him.
Oh, why can't I remember that?
And the new Khan guy is more of a magic.
Cool Khan.
he's a magic guy, but he's also physical, so he's
that
not like
giant weird bat saw thing.
But what do you think about the movie characters and stuff being in Mortal Kombat?
It's good crossover.
And Kratos and stuff like that.
It's a WB game, so they're gonna try and push their stuff, but they did it in a good way. It doesn't feel cheesy. It doesn't feel tacked on. They feel like thought out characters, and it's Mortal Kombat. Like Mortal Kombat has different worlds and all that stuff that can get thrown into it. And to be honest with you, it's already silly enough on its own without these extra characters thrown in, but they fit in so well that it's perfect.
I think Freddy was a big test for them, and Freddy was just kind of slashy, and that was really it. And then you got Jason, who has his whole totally different mindset, and Predator and Alien kind of looks like he fights like Baraka.
I love that. Like I like the introduction. Like they don't just throw the xenomorph in.
No, they go into the lore of the thing. Like if the alien had the face hugger implanted in Alien inside Baraka, and like they did in the Predator crossover, and I just found that really cool.
It worked out really well.
It's high risk, no risk, high reward type of deal with them because they already own the characters, being that they own the new line and whatnot. So,
right.
So that's a great idea or a great example of a company utilizing their resources.
And also, Leatherface looks badass too.
Oh my gosh!
I did not mind.
I also didn't expect Leatherface.
Yeah, I like his brutality.
Remake, the one with Jessica Biel. It's not that bad.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, the remake. That first one, the second one, and third one were pretty terrible.
Yeah,
I'm still kind of stuck to the original.
Well,
yeah, me too. All right, so wow,
that was me swinging around.
I had no idea what you were even trying to do in the beginning.
Swinging around the chainsaw.
His brutality. He takes the hammer and he's like.
Ooh.
I like Predator's finishers because they're so like not gonna destroy the shit out of you. They're just like, I'm just gonna end you quick because I'm cool.
I got shit to do.
Like his little cannon comes out and just blasts you into somebody. He's like, yeah. What are you gonna do now? And he just kind of walks away. Like he's so smug. I love it.
I know.
And he the fact that his taunt or something is the echoed laugh from the movie just kind of gave me goosebumps the first time I heard it.
But he's dead. How does he have the
Oh, and really quick before we move on, the variation, the costumes that came with the pack, what's his face? Carl Weathers Jax and Infrared Scorpion is amazing.
Carl Weathers Jax?
Yeah.
That's fucking amazing.
And Carl Weathers Jax and the Johnny Cage is kind of supposed to look like Schwarzenegger, but doesn't. But there's a Predator Vision Infrared Scorpion costume, which is really awesome.
They added for Leatherface, he has the one with the smock. And then he has the one with the tie.
None of that stuff got
isn't
released
that from
yet, right?
New Beginning?
Yeah. I mean, there's like videos and stuff they release.
People, that's what I thought.
Is that the one from 4? The one that has McConaughey and
McConaughey?
And
oh my god,
Zellweger?
McConaughey was in that.
Zellweger?
Holy crap!
Who's the girl in 4? I think it's Zellweger. It's the one where McConaughey's sitting at the table. He's like, "Meet my whole family." It's pretty great.
I don't know what accent that was.
Seriously? Meet my whole family. What was that?
I think that was
legitimately.
I think that was a European accent.
A European redneck.
All right, guys. So anyway, at the same Dice Awards,
we touch feet.
I know the IAS did a tribute to Iwata, Mr. Iwata, who died last year of the really weird internal cancer.
I really thought you were gonna say of the plague.
No, I was not gonna say that. What the hell?
That's my cat.
I know. I was looking at that.
The cat is strong enough to move barriers.
Yeah.
Look at her. She's a tank.
All right.
She's like, who are you?
Can you come up?
So Nintendo's also taking their first big steps in trying to kind of rebuild their image for this year.
Oh, jeez. They have so much to rebuild.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're launching, as I said before, they're launching their big first mobile app, Miyoto. They're celebrating the 20th anniversary of Pokemon and the 30th anniversary of Zelda. And they started, and also the release of Pokemon Go later on this year.
Looks awesome.
When that shit comes out, it's a wrap, right?
People are going to be breaking their phones.
You know what I'm gonna do, right?
Also,
I finally get to live out my dream
Of being a
of
Pokemon
wearing
master.
of wearing like a fisherman's outfit and standing by the lake and just running up to people and be like, "You look like you're ready for a battle."
Fisherman Stefan wants to battle you.
also the new Zelda looks gorgeous.
It looks good, but it's the same fucking game.
All right. Okay.
Like I have an issue with
Like Street
remakes,
Fighter.
man. Like I don't mind HD remakes at all. I think they look nice
Wait.
and all, but
Are you talking about Twilight Princess?
No.
Yeah.
No, he's talking
I'm
about
talking
the
about
new.
the new-
the
new
new one. Oh yeah,
yeah.
that's beautiful.
Yeah, no, we weren't
Oh,
talking
for
about
sure, that
one.
shit's
We weren't
awesome.
talking about that.
Also, obviously, when Red and Blue comes out, I'm
On the 27th,
I'm
I'm waiting for
totally
that
getting
3DS.
Red or Blue. Like,
I'm waiting for my 3DS to come in the mail. It's being shipped
What
to
one
me
did
as
you
we
get?
speak. The 20th anniversary
oh,
bundle.
you got the 20%, 21st, 20th.
Well, I'll be playing the full release of
I have
Street
the Smash
Fighter.
one.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. They reopened their flagship store at 40 Rockefeller Plaza, now known as Nintendo New York, where I got this somebody got me this lovely shirt from.
What did they? How did they remake the store? Did they change it up?
Essentially, it looks almost the same. They just moved the part where, you know, when you go upstairs to the right and there's like all the Nintendo branded merchandise, they moved that to the first floor, and now the Pokemon Center they moved
It's
to the top
upstairs?
floor. Yeah,
That's cool.
and I think they got rid of the whole area where you could stand and play the Wii U. Oh, Gwen's getting in my bag like always.
Oh, that was a smart idea for them to have that though.
Yeah. The reopening was a major moment for the company. Nintendo of America's exclusive vice president of sales and marketing, Scott Moffitt, said during the ribbon cutting ceremony. That's because Nintendo New York isn't just the United States only centric blah 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 dealer. And I'm done with that story. After
quick.
just
Nintendo store's open is what
Yeah.
he's trying to say.
Essentially,
Yeah,
go
it's
see it,
open.
it's pretty
Go
cool.
see it.
After just 2 weeks of its release, Deadpool has surpassed all expectations to assert box office dominance with a number of records. Now, the Ryan Reynolds starring Tim Miller direct feature can add a few more notches to its... I'm not saying that. As it just became the highest grossing film in the X-Men franchise,
Wow.
as well as the highest grossing rated R comic book movie ever, and the highest grossing rated R movie of all time.
Can we spend a few minutes on this?
Yeah.
On Deadpool.
Let me just get through this real quick.
Oh, sure.
Domestically, Deadpool has pulled in $235.40 million.
Copying the stuff from other sites.
I thought he was done. I didn't know.
No, I didn't. I actually
Let-
wrote
let-
this out on my break, so shut you fucking
Let
up.
him finish his copy and paste it. stuff.
Chloe, you're all fucking done.
Okay.
No.
So-
cut it off. It's copy paste. Cut it off.
So
Calm down, Brenden. Jeez.
what are we doing about spoilers here? Do we wanna talk about spoilers or?
Oh no, we
so
talk.
should we
do
go
spoilers.
spoiler alert and then?
Well, I think by now people understand that.
I want to start off with Deadpool on how recently James Gunn, who directed Guardians of the Galaxy, was talking about.
I was
Film.
getting that, but it was copy and paste, so that's why I cut
Oh,
that
Brendan,
shit
seriously, calm down.
He was talking about
I was
comic book
just
movies
fucking with
in
you.
general and how Fox took a humongous gamble with Deadpool.
out. Whoa, wait. They didn't take a huge gamble. They had to fucking get convinced, because they were like,
Exactly.
people were clamoring for it. Even when Wolverine came out, it was just like, oh, let's get a Deadpool thing. Yeah, she's going after the Xenomorph.
Yeah, I know. She'll kill it.
He's like, what's going on over there?
But
So
they
you ain't
they
taking my
they took a
review?
gamble on a franchise that they didn't necessarily know too much about. Like most, now people know Deadpool everywhere, but back in the 80s and stuff, Deadpool wasn't much of a thing, and X-Men was huge. And pretty much what James Gunn was saying is that bigger studios should take lessons from Deadpool and how not so big names and original films should be brought out more.
He said,
and-
what he said to an extent was he says that now it also kind of sets a bad precedent in Hollywood, because now everybody's going to try to make that rated R movie, and everybody's going to try to be Deadpool, and we're going to fall into the same kind of vicious cycle where it's just like one thing works, and now the studio's going to put out 20 copies of it. And I think he was kind of throwing shade at Suicide Squad in that same instance where it's like, oh, okay, somebody sees that something like Guardians works, and then now it's going to be like, oh, hey, we're going to do this, and we're going to do it over and over and over again, which is, it's the truth. Like, first Suicide Squad, in that first trailer came out, I was like, okay, it was pretty serious. Then the second one was like, oh, look, it's just these band of rejects that have to come together to save the world. And it's like, wait a minute, it's starting to look a little bit like Guardians now.
But James Gunn has always kind of lived for the not being a conventional filmmaker. And Guardians, though it's a big studio film, wasn't a conventional movie. And it wasn't strict to that 3-act structure of storytelling. And neither was Deadpool. And Deadpool was very different, and he just kind of said something like along the lines of that studios should look to that and look at Guardians and look at unconventional films and try to do something different and unique rather than what works and what makes money. Because people want to see different things.
But that's the thing, like, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing if people want to start copying or emulating it, like, with Suicide Squad, kind of
imitation's the highest form of flattery.
It is, and honestly, if it works, it works. If it's an interesting thing to watch. I mean, at this point now, almost everything's been done to some extent.
It's like that old Simpsons joke, the episode of Itchy and Scratchy where, the episode of The Simpsons where that guy, they find that homeless guy and he's like, I created Itchy and Scratchy, and the lawyer's, he's like, hey, wait a minute, he's like, everybody's a ripoff of anything. Fred Flintstone's a ripoff of Ralph Cramden, and George Jetson's a ripoff of so on and so on. Chief Wiggum is a ripoff of something, and Wiggum's like, hi.
Yeah.
But Deadpool. Now we can actually start talking about it. I saw Deadpool twice.
I did as well.
I saw Deadpool in the Lincoln Square IMAX, and then I took my girlfriend Kieran to see it, who's not a comic book fan at all.
I feel like it didn't need to be in IMAX. There was no need for it.
No, yeah, it was just kind of cool to see it on the big screen and loud. But coming from my girlfriend, who isn't a comic book fan...
No, I'm joking.
Who isn't a... Fuck, I'm going to tell you something.
Body pillows don't count.
She's going to find that funny.
Who isn't a comic book fan and wanted to see the movie to get to know my tastes, and because she saw in the clips that the humor was really original and creative, and that's something she was interested in. Coming from her point of view, she's not really into violence. There's a lot of violence in Deadpool, but she thought the humor was very, very creative, very original, and very planned out, which I agreed with that. And if you look at a lot of comedy movies, it's like, oh, let's just do the dick and fart jokes because they get laughs. It's not.
That's what works.
It's not. Let's try to very carefully think out our witty remarks and how not only do we say comedy, but we visually show it too. And Deadpool did a really, really good thing with visually showing comedy. Whether it was in the very first scene of the movie when he's in the cab and he flicks off a piece of gum and it goes onto the screen of the camera, and he takes it off. I thought that was really funny, and how he was killing the guy that he referred to as Agent Smith from The Matrix, how he literally grabbed the camera and said, "You shouldn't watch this," and so just little things like that.
Oh, yeah, the little fourth wall. I mean, just like the way they used the humor was really
Ferris
like
Bueller'd it.
Even with the
Ferris Bueller was very different fourth wall break. So.
But you know what I was trying to get out there.
Yeah,
but even with the Asian girls, remember when he was going on the killing spree?
Oh my God, should I be hitting you?
He's like, is it sexist to kill you, or is it sexist not to kill you? Like, even those kind of jokes are like, all right, that's really funny. Like,
I have two favorite jokes that just made me laugh so hard. Three. I'm gonna say three. One is when he's in the opening credits of the movie is a really slowed down type of action sequence, which is almost Zombieland-like because it's the writers of Zombieland. And in the scene, there's a car flipping over, and when that's actually happening in real time in the movie, Deadpool sticks his head out of the sunroof, and it's like, shit, did I leave the stove on? And then it just goes on. I just thought, like, that was really good. And,
no, I hate that. I hate, like, really corny jokes.
That's kind of old.
At one point, Colossus comes up behind him, and he just kind of reaches back and touches his dick, which is metal, and he just goes,
Your
Dad?
poor wife!
Yeah,
he goes,
the
Dad?
joke was, Dad? And probably my favorite part of the entire movie was Deadpool trying to beat the crap out of Colossus and was breaking. He broke his hands on his face, and then he broke his foot on his face, and he's just standing there like a T-Rex, and he makes a joke about a T-Rex.
The T-Rex is the maddest.
But my dad and I just love that type of physical comedy like that.
Yeah.
So I was just like, he just took a swing and didn't learn. It just didn't learn. It's just kind of hobbling around and.
Well, one thing
I was gonna say that one of the best jokes that the both times that I started kind of just fucking killed me is when he's regrowing back his arm and he's and he's talking to the old lady and he's like, you should get out of here. He's like, I bet it feels a lot bigger in this hand, and I was just like, oh man, that's fucking amazing.
But there's one thing about the Deadpool movie though that I think adds more than just, you know, an R-rated superhero movie or this and this and that.
It was copy and paste.
It gives Fox a
2 seconds to register.
It gives Fox a chance to finally expand on the X-Men franchise.
Yes.
They can move past, you know, the core X-Men,
and I feel like they
and
did that
X-Men
with
thing.
the Deadpool movie too,
Exactly.
because of Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Which, you know, a character that
existed in one book. Literally in one book.
Nobody would really know. But, you know, they make it work, and especially Cable being introduced in the next movie.
Oh my god, I hope Stephen Lang plays him.
I hope Kevin Nash give Kevin Nash some acting lessons. And
he was in Punisher.
Come on, man, look at him.
Mike.
Oh, speaking of Punisher, did I ever tell you that I found at a FI in Oklahoma a signed copy of Punisher, and it was signed by Kevin Nash, and I got it for $3.
That's amazing. You sent me the picture of that.
Yeah.
No, what I'm surprised is that more studios that own a lot of these different superhero universes don't kind of explore that. Like,
well, Sony was trying to do that with like the Sinister Six and the all-female Spider-Man movie.
But their ideas were just getting too much.
It wasn't that they were
silly.
trying to explore it. It was that they were trying to force everything out and shoehorn as many characters as they could. That was the problem with that whole Spider debacle, where it was just like sort of.
Did you hear about their plans of what they wanted to do, and how they wanted to make a Spider-Man Doc Ock team-up movie where they fought dinosaurs?
Yeah, that was in that leaked email thing that Amy Pasquale leaked.
Look it up because it exists.
Oh my god!
And they wanted to make a Venom Carnage movie, and they wanted to make a 2099 movie.
I heard about the Venom Carnage in the
2099. I would have liked to see that.
I would have too if it wasn't from Sony.
No, because I have a feeling it would be
up.
a Minority Report ripoff. Like, it'd be a copy and paste of Minority Report.
Kind of with a Total Recall in there.
Nah.
No, like, I'm talking 2012 Total Recall.
Miguel, get your ass to Mars.
No, 2012 Total Recall.
I like
Get your ass to Mars.
Get your ass to Mars, Miguel. You have to do it.
I'm trying to go off these
suit.
last couple stories off of memory.
It's Spider-Man.
But yeah, Deadpool, I would give it a 4 out of 5 stars.
So in DC's whole, I'll give it
for what, like, you know, for what they were given and the constraints they had.
Like I told Brenden, it didn't impress the hell out of me, but it didn't disappoint
the
me.
podcast from last week never went up, right?
Not yet.
I didn't even think we should put that up.
Really?
Yeah, there was nothing really informative in there.
Okay, so we could call this episode 9 then.
Yeah. So
well, we got to go on a break.
Alright, so real quick talking points. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 started filming with Kurt Russell.
Yes.
We can continue after
No,
that.
no, that's okay. I'm over it. They in the DC relaunch, one of the first big titles that they're in the Rebirth.
Yeah, Rebirth.
That they announced Jim Lee is going to be drawing a Suicide Squad book,
which I'm excited about. Yeah,
which only makes sense for the movie.
Did you hear who the rumored villain was for Guardians 2?
No.
It was Eagle the Living Planet.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be that.
Which I could totally see James Gunn pulling off. I could totally see Gunn pulling that off. But
I think Kurt Russell's going to be the villain in the next movie.
I think so too.
Kurt Russell's gonna be Nova. Just get it over with.
I saw Bo Tomahawk 2 for the first time.
I think so too, but I think it's a very cliched thing of, oh, you're my father, you're cool.
Well,
I'm your son. Now you're the villain.
Star-Lord's father in the books is a royalty, and he's a villain.
But like they kind of, Marvel's kind of been doing that a lot lately, where they kind of
Okay.
take the main character and then make him like a side thing. Like,
Let it come out. Oh, gosh.
What
Never mind. Go on.
I wasn't paying attention.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Just one more quick note on Deadpool. It's gonna knock out Iron Man out of the top 10 superhero movies.
yes.
Yeah. Grossing of all
It
time.
beat Star Wars in Russia opening week.
Well, Russians
Yeah.
are weird.
Don't
Well,
worry.
for it to beat Star Wars in one country is pretty good.
That's true.
Well, no, because the pride of their nation was on that in that movie.
That's
Oh,
true.
Yeah.
Pietro.
Russian superhero. Think about it.
Colossus,
Pietro.
Yeah. Anyway, with that, we'll be right back after this copy and paste.
Many years ago today, something grew inside of your mother. That thing was you.
Are you a fan of monthly subscription boxes? Are you a fan of junk that fills up your walls and gives you no space to do anything? Are you a fan of sex toys? Well, I have an amazing product for you. Welcome to Buttbox.
The box of crap. Every month we
No,
send you
no,
a
no, no.
random fucking butt toy.
There is something called the Woot $5 bag of crap.
But there was no joke. That was the joke.
Oh,
They just send you random crap.
It's called the Woot $5 bag of crap. So they'll send you like a DVD of a random season of some TV show. So you remember how like when you used to buy DVDs, they would be like, oh, here's disc 3 with episodes 4, 5, and 7, and 4, 5, and 6. I forgot to count.
4, 5, 7.
4, 5, 7 for you.
4, 5, and 6.
He had a
and you
troubled
can just
childhood.
yeah, and you could just they'll send you like a DSi like camera portfolio case, dude. It's one of the funniest
All right,
things ever.
these crates are starting to get a little out of control here.
Oh,
Yeah.
man,
Uh,
I can't even begin to describe how bad I am at Street Fighter. I am horrible at Street Fighter. You will see
So
on your
am I.
Twitch feed that I am very bad at Street Fighter.
Oh yeah,
So
you
I-
have to play. You have to play Stefan.
I
soon after this
I
podcast.
only know how to use Ryu barely.
Don't worry, I'm just as bad.
So
just as bad.
Like
Stefan has a complaint about the people who complain about Street Fighter.
I don't have a complaint about the people who complain about Street Fighter. Okay, look. I'm not getting into this with you again. But so Street Fighter 5 has come out recently. It came out last week. A lot of people are playing it. However, a lot of fans who have bought the game are very, very disappointed. They have booted up their disc to find that a lot of the modes that are actually on the main screen are grayed out and unavailable. And when you select them, it says, "Oh, it'll be available in March." One of the big
Let's hope.
one of the big features that they said was coming to Street Fighter V was the thing called Fight Money. And what Fight Money is it allows you to purchase costumes, purchase in-game content, new characters, new stages, and all this other stuff without actually having to spend real-life money. So the more you play the game, the more in-game currency you get, and then you can use this in the shop.
so is that are they doing that instead of downloadable content?
So they're still going to have the downloadable content.
But you could buy
But you
other
have a choice.
characters?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you have a choice of saying, I'll spend $5 to get this character now, or I'll save up my fight money to get this
All
character
right,
later.
because I knew they were putting like Guile and stuff into the game. but-
Yeah, they're
along with the other 6 characters that
Mhm.
they have in the game already.
So unfortunately, the shop is closed. It's not even available at launch. There's no full-fledged story mode. There's a cinematic story mode that they're going to be releasing later, but they have a very short story mode, which is more like a prologue.
Which is like two and a half
It's
matches.
so
per thing.
easy. I got through Vega's storyline untouched. Like,
Yeah,
and I suck at the
That's-
game.
The AI is terrible. There's a survivor mode, which there's different levels of survivor mode, which is 10,
Oh,
30,
fuck that
50,
thing.
and I forgot what the other one
100.
is. 100.
100's how.
And people are complaining about it.
That's my
simply
favorite part of the game.
because
The survival one?
Yeah, it's my
They
favorite.
people are
Did you get a
complaining.
challenge from it?
Yeah,
Yeah, because people are complaining about it because you unlock colors through it,
which I
which
don't
is
care about.
different. Because before it was just you play the
I
game,
was
you get
curious
colors,
about that.
but now you have to unlock them by doing survival mode. And survival mode is really weird because, like, for the first 10, 20 rounds, the computer's just complete shit. It just stands there and takes hits. And then out of fucking nowhere, it's pulling, like, crazy, like, one-frame links on you and just destroying you for no reason.
I think I've had this. I was having this conversation with somebody that on hard, stages 1 through 5, I think it's like 1, and then 5 through 10 is 2, and then so on and so forth. It goes up, and when it gets to 35, 40, it's like the computer difficulty set to 8.
Maybe
8, 9, because that's when they start chaining combos like nothing. There's one that I have on the stream that I'm gonna clip out later, where this Laura, I kid you not, does not stop moving. She just dude, and it goes on until luckily a fight request came on. I was like, get out.
Oh yeah, that's the cheat, by the way.
But
the cheat is to do a fight request.
But coming from someone like me who's never played the game in the series before and only knew the Street Fighter characters because I played Marvel vs. Capcom and knew those controls, I like the game a lot. Like I like how it plays. I think it's a little confusing because of the amount of commands and movesets and stuff that I'm not really used to. I'd rather the command list just tell me move it this way and hit square, not like a picture of a fist or a kick or something.
Well, I mean but the thing is that's the way Street Fighter's been since Street Fighter 2. So like a lot of people, for them to change it up now is kind of like
But at least have an option where you could press triangle or something and it'll show you the actual command, just for people like me who never played any of the series.
They try to make it so
easier.
there's here. Let me explain something. Capcom's doing something really weird with Street Fighter 5. Street Fighter 5 is geared towards competitive tournament style play, like that kind of like area and player base, while at the same time trying to get the casual player into that kind of mindset. So what they did was they took a lot of the charge characters, because a lot of new players find it really hard to play charge characters. And they took a lot of those characters and they got rid of their charge moves and they gave them quarter circle.
So what's
moves.
a charge character?
Charge character is like Guile.
Yeah.
So you know how you have to hold back for 2 seconds and then press forward and punch and do a Sonic boom.
So like people with projectiles?
No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily,
but and stuff.
Like certain characters have different kinds of charge moves. For example, like Bison has a down-up charge move.
Cammy used to be a charge move before.
Cammy's used to be a charge character.
I've
now
played
they're all
Bison.
quarter circle.
I've never done anything like that, though.
So the Psycho Crusher, how you would used to do it is
it.
you would like hold back and then forward, and then it would just, as you launch forward, it just, that's it.
So they like
just like that.
So they did change a lot of the way the character, like for example, there's a character named Charlie, and you know him. He's just like Guile back in the day, but now he's all quarter circle moves. So it's to throw a Sonic Boom, just quarter circle forward. And they did that to help new players get used to these characters and to play them better. There's still charge characters in the game, like Fong is a straight up charge character and a really wonky one at that. But they try to make it more friendlier. But with that being said, the release of Street Fighter V was timed to coincide with that competitive tournament season, because there's this big event in Las Vegas that happens every July called EVO, and it's the world's biggest tournament. Everyone from around the world comes to compete in this, and whoever wins is the top dog for the rest of the year. Right?
Do you have to qualify for EVO?
Yes.
Okay.
So tournament season starts now. So final round is the first one that really kicks it off, and Street Fighter comes out just in time for that. And EVO this year is not having Street Fighter 4. They're doing Street Fighter 5. It's the new game. So Capcom, in a way, is in a weird position. Capcom doesn't have a game that's ready, to be honest with you. They don't have an arcade mode. They don't have a story mode. They don't have a shop. They don't have any of the characters that they're going to
Battle Lounge is a piece of shit.
The Battle Lounge isn't fixed yet. Their netcode isn't as good as it should be.
The frame rate drops that I experienced.
Unfortunately, they have to come out. Like, they just kind of have, because of their focus, they kind of have to come out with this game now. And it's hard to defend it. It really is. Because for the casual player, that sucks. It's like buying... It would be like buying... I'll give a better example than Fallout. But, like, it would be like buying Hitman, right? And like there's no like story mode. It's just like
just kill
contract mode.
Yeah.
Like just kill this guy, just kill that guy. But there's no link.
That was one of my problems with Battlefront. Even though I love Battlefront, is that there's no story. And in the other Battlefronts, especially 2, which is amazing. There was a story
and there was all that.
That's why I waited to buy that game for $20.
But that's the thing.
Well, mine came with the PS4.
Yeah,
so
you're good.
Like there's
I have the
two
deluxe Battlefront.
there's two sides to the argument when it comes to the whole Street Fighter being released now in the state that it's in. The first argument is this gives a chance for players to get into the game now, to understand, because most players usually end up going towards the tournaments, not to necessarily play, but to watch. For example, Evo last year had millions of viewers, and only like 2,000 people entered in for Street Fighter 4. So who's playing and who's watching is a big difference. And now people who get to play Street Fighter V will be able to watch it now in these tournaments as it progresses and learn more techniques and learn how to play these characters.
Right.
But then there's the other side of the coin where it's people. There are people buying the game who aren't saying, "I want to be a tournament player. I want to play online." They just want to play in arcade mode. They just want to be able to say, "I did the challenge of playing Street Fighter, and now I get to put it on my shelf."
There wasn't really much of an arcade mode. It was only like the story, and it was like 3 matches with dialogue, and the art looks really nice and during the dialogue, but there wasn't really much to it. And what drew me into even wanting to play Street Fighter was how amazingly beautiful the game looks. And
Oh, it looks so good.
it looks amazing.
It's one of the pretty Street Fighters.
And the facial expressions and the expressions and how they, like, just everything. The art style is amazing. Like, that, the art designer needs an award because that game looks amazing.
Especially for a
if
fighter.
they have awards like that.
Especially
Evo,
for a fighter.
not Evo. The things I was talking about earlier, the DICE Awards.
But
Yeah.
I was always into, like we said before, Mortal Kombat, Injustice, Marvel vs. Capcom, huge Smash Bros. Player. Like, so I was never really, like, used to the Street Fighter vibe. And then what made me want to get the game was how beautiful it looked.
Well, it's only going to get more beautiful. Because, like, yes, Street Fighter launched without, like, the cinematic story mode. But it's coming. That's the problem.
We are getting a cinematic
We're
story?
getting it, and we're getting it for free.
It's a free update.
But
It's a free update or free with the season pass?
No,
free
it's free
update.
update.
Okay.
yeah, so like you get that, in the arcade mode is also coming as well. So these things are.
Someone
coming.
should have waited a little
That's
bit.
that's what I'm saying. Like, if you want to play, like, if you're on the side of the coin that's into the tournaments and likes watching the community and is into playing online and playing casually, then yes, it's a good time to buy the game
They
now.
said, okay, the game is 80% done. It's playable. You could have this.
And
We're just not done yet. But you could play it.
Yeah, it's like. He's like, here you go. Here's
It's not
the
even-
shell.
It's really crazy to think that, it's like I suggested, why not do the Killer Instinct model where it's just like you need prep for like a tournament edition, or you need it for the tournament season. Put out the online component of the game. Just put that out. Have the characters ready, and then when the rest of the game is ready, you be like, hey, you can buy this if you want, or if not, just stay with this.
Yeah.
And get your fix like that.
Something that kind of worried me when I bought the game too is another model of this game going to come out in a month or so, because
That's the Street Fighter.
Marvel
trend.
vs. Capcom has Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, and Mortal
Street
Kombat
Fighter
gets
has
Mortal
like
Kombat
4 or 5.
not Mortal
That
Kombat,
new XL,
like the complete
thing.
edition, and Injustice has like
Game of the Year edition.
Game of the Year edition with all the DLC. Like, am I gonna spend $60 on this game and then another $60 in downloadable content when I could just buy this in a few months and get the full package?
That's the beauty. Well, that's the thing about Street Fighter V. Like, for me, I actually am usually the type that hates when a game releases
Incomplete.
is $60 and it's incomplete, and like you only get a few of it, and it says, "Oh, the servers are down, so you can't play
Capitalism
online."
at its finest, man.
But the thing about Street Fighter, and this is the only reason why I'm defending it now, is because of not only the type of game it is, but also the gear, the focus of the way they're doing it. If they do like a Super Street Fighter 5 or a Super Street Fighter 5 Turbo Edition, those are actually going to be free content updates. So they're going to be doing them every year, They said that's their schedule. They're gonna every year they're gonna do a major change of the game, and it's gonna be a free update that comes out.
Okay.
And you'll be able to play that without a problem, because they realize that that's what people hate. They hate having to rebuy the game over and over again. Again, it's a game where, like, I know this is a very flimsy argument, but it's a game where you fight people. And I understand, like, if you wanted to put it out, then just put out the online component so that people can at least play a little bit and then have the small content. But then when you think about it in the long run, you're still going to be spending that $60.
Was Street Fighter always that 1 bar of health? Because how games always... The matches go really fast, too.
Yeah, they do.
That's why they rounded it.
But with... The thing that I liked about Street Fighter, because I always pay attention... I've always paid attention to it, and very much like how Smash Bros does their thing, is that Street Fighter 4 had that really cell shaded type look, and Street Fighter 5 is this really bright, colory type. Like they don't keep the same Mortal Kombat type. This is how the game looks,
dark and gritty.
And Smash Bros went from Melee, which was kind of cartoony, and then to Brawl, which was really heavily detailed.
Yeah.
To
like the Fire Emblem characters,
to the new one, to Wii U 3DS, where it's very like detailed but cartoony, like, and they kept it fresh, they kept a new look, and that's what I really admire about this Street Fighter, is that, I mean, the cell shaded was cool, especially with Ryu's attacks in Smash Bros.
Like
in Smash Bros, he has this one, the cell shaded move, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool, and like, it just keeps things interesting. Shall we move on?
I guess, yeah.
Go out and buy Street Fighter, support it, because the more people that buy Street Fighter, the better stuff we'll get later
it's
on.
definitely a fun game.
The one thing that I hear, though, that it's kind of like, and this is the argument that I put to you about it not being an incomplete game, is that when I do talk to people that haven't picked up the game yet, that's their complaint. It's like, well, I'll just wait till the game goes on sale or when it's complete, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I feel that with like today's ADD gaming, where it's just like you're moving on to the next one after the next one after the next one, that by the time everything is ready, people are like, fuck it, now I'll go play The Division, or fuck it, I'll go play Uncharted, or I'll go play this, or I'll go play that. And it's sort of like Street Fighter gets into that back burner where it's like, okay, now the only people that are playing this game online are the people, the hardcores, that will just fucking combo me to death until...
Well, you know, what's funny is I'm not worried about that too much anymore. I was in the beginning, because I hate to say it, but, like, you know me, I love fighting games. I love the whole FGC thing. And it's like, I want casual players to buy this game, because if they buy it in the long run, that's better for me, because that just means more content and maybe another Street Fighter 6, you know? And I was worried about that in the beginning, but I started to think about it, and I started to think about, when does Street Fighter become the it game? And usually not at launch, usually not a month after launch, or even months after launch. It isn't until something big happens, and that's usually EVO.
I do think this one does have potential to get a lot bigger.
Exactly.
I didn't think Street Fighter 4 had that much potential.
I don't think it's
well, even
gonna
Street
get
Fighter 4, because when Street Fighter 4 first came out, not many people, a lot of people got it, but they weren't all that into it.
Yeah.
And then, but once the tournament season started coming in, and once people started seeing more news articles on it, that's when people were like, let me give Street Fighter a try. And then they went out and they bought Street Fighter, and they were giving it and investing time into it.
But like how you were saying about like supporting the game and everything, I was just really thinking about this, and how on the day Street Fighter 5 came out, I reserved it. I got it the day of. My girlfriend goes to Sephora and pays the same amount of money that I spent on the game on a thing of makeup and stuff, and I'm like
Jimmy, no.
No. But the point the point that what got me thinking is that if I spend $60 or so buying this game, does it still support it in the same way as if I was buying this on like Black Friday or a year or so after, when the game was like $20?
No, because the game's already shipped. When the game's already stored, that means it's already bought. The company has bought the game. where it needs support is kind of like the metrics of it being played online, it being supported tournament wise. Even now, like if you look at New Ways games are measured by sales. A lot of the times NPD data doesn't mean shit because they'll have like, oh, this is how much this sold in a month. But NPD doesn't take into account digital sales, Steam like stats in terms of what's being bought, purchased through Steam, what's being streamed on Twitch. Like now Twitch, it's crazy to think that Twitch is now like a great indication on what games are popular, what games are being played. Look at fucking Hearthstone. Hearthstone has like 5,000 different streams.
That shit is amazing.
I guess I was trying to look at it on how movies are successful because I know they're a different medium, but movies get support through the tickets and stuff.
But that's even changing now with a lot of VOD, same day VOD, and so on.
I guess I was kind of looking at it like that. I don't really understand how a game gets classified as being a success as far as earning its worth and money.
Here's the thing with Street Fighter. I put my hand on your back. The thing with Street Fighter is that it already made its money by making itself exclusive with Sony. It's already made its money back in terms of cost of development and whatnot. Now all of this is like extra sprinkle on the cake. It's just like when Star Wars, when fucking Disney bought Star Wars. It didn't matter what. The minute that they said Episode 7 was coming out, there was a fucking. You just heard the people at Disney going, "We're in the money, we're in the money."
They weren't wrong either.
You think they were like at the window, and they were like, "Guys, in 1 minute."
Then you just
the announcement of Episode 7 is coming out. So just listen. Then as soon as it happened, you hear in the distance.
Did anyone? Speaking of that, did either of you notice the impact that Star Wars made on people who aren't normally even into that sort of thing? Like, because I have video teachers who don't even know what really sci-fi is. Like, they don't get the genre at all. But one of my teachers flat out said that she thought Star Wars should be up for an Oscar. Like one of the bigger Oscars, not for the visual effects or score.
Jimmy, you know why that's not gonna happen? Because the Oscars so white. And with but we'll be back.
That's what I was talking about.
Wait. That's actually a good point.
But that's what I was talking about. How people who say like, oh, I'm not really into that sort of stuff, but Star Wars was really good. Like
eventually,
people
will warm up.
Remember the argument with The Dark Knight? I think it started a few years ago with The Dark Knight when The Dark Knight didn't get nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, that if that shit would have been nominated, it should have won. It should have beat whatever they picked, Slumdog Millionaire.
2010 Slumdog Millionaire
beat it, and it was just like, why? That whole movie's good from Christian Bale's performance to.
I thought Dark Knight won all the awards that it should have won.
But the big argument was that, or even to an extent with Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings was kind of like the
Return of the King won Best Picture.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was kind of like oh, okay, hey. And I feel that when that happened, the Oscars were like, we're not going to let that happen again, right, guys? Like, we're
going to nominate these Hobbit movies, and they're going to get nominated, but they're not going to win.
Dark Knight should have won.
Shit, it won.
Who's
getting fired?
We'll let this other visual effects movie win, and not the one with the fucking CGI dragon.
Yeah.
That covered gold and was...
What beat it that year?
Hobbit?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Not Birdman. At least Birdman won Best Picture.
Birdman wasn't up for... This was like last year. Shit.
Yeah. No. Well, it's funny, the director of Birdman might go back-to-back this year. Cool. With Best Picture and Best Director. Yeah. Because he won Birdman and he won Best Director with he won Best Director for Birdman and won Best Picture. Now this year he could win Best Director for Revenant and Best Picture for Revenant.
All I remember from last year's Oscars for visual effects was that Winter Soldier and Guardians were both nominated, but neither of them won.
Nobody likes talking records.
Weird. Oh well. All right, guys. We'll be back to close off the show, or close out the show, whatever.
After these tits.
After these commercial messages? Anyway, bye.
Underwater friend, you are my underwater friend. Yeah, you're my best friends, now let's all chill. I gotta come down here once
So we're back, guys, and Brendan has a very special gift for us.
I don't.
His dick.
No, it's not that special. And by special, if you mean... Ooh. Cut that. Cut that one out.
Just bleep it. It's not that bad.
Oh, yeah, no, we will. It's just as bad as what happened 2 weeks ago.
Do you have like a wacky bleep? Censor bleep?
Now we have Eagles.
We have Eagle sounds, yeah.
Throw in American Eagles. Just
Yeah,
make it
2 weeks
happen.
ago. So we were recording. And It's long lost. If you notice, the last episode we put out was 35 minutes long. Originally, it was an hour long, but a whole conversation got cut, which I'm not going to mention about. But
yeah, we had to cut it because I said something very, very terrible.
Stefan texted me in the middle of the night. He was like, I don't want this in the podcast.
Because Brendan was like, we could just leave it in. We'll just cut it out and we'll do like a technical difficulties thing. And then as I listened to the whole thing as a piece, I was like, I can't. I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Back when I had podcasts and stuff.
Yeah,
podcasts. Which you can't find them anywhere because SoundCloud ripped them all down because I stopped paying for it.
No.
But our censor sound was the famous Nigel Thornberry sound.
Eliza.
What was that? Because that wasn't Nigel
Yeah, that was
Thornberry.
not Eliza.
That was like German Nazi scientist.
I'm a German Nazi scientist.
Nine.
You would be the
That was like
perfect
Yoda Nazi
Aryan.
scientist.
Damn, I'm not gonna do that bit. I was going to get into something really
Did I ever
bad.
tell you about like sexy Yoda?
What?
Yeah, like my coworker and I had this like we used
I
to
don't really see them in a sentence together.
we used to mess around with like where Yoda was like
You have
pervy
grown
with
now,
Luke. Where like Luke would come in,
Dagobah?
like he would have the shirt on. He's like
You know, outside is not all swamp.
he's like
Not all swamp this is.
Maybe you should lose a layer. You should. Luke, sweaty you are, glistering, sexy.
Bend over, you should.
All right.
okay, so sorry about that, guys.
This cane isn't for walking.
Very quickly, we're going to play. Oh no.
Remember this night, you will not.
Yoda.
There's a reason Yoda wants. Come back, Luke.
Don't
Wait,
trip.
that was all.
Training is complete. It's not.
Man, all right, let's stop this bit. We've hit the wall very hard on that one.
Complete. Your training is not. Your pants are.
Wait, I can't do it. I lost it.
None of us can
lost
do
it.
Yoda. Let's just put it as that.
So I have a lightning
None of us are
round.
Oz.
We're gonna do 10 quick questions, Jimmy. You gotta give us answers, not stories.
Okay.
And that's it. Then we'll wrap this up.
Okay.
First question is, how big is your penis? No,
Wow.
what is your favorite movie?
John Candy.
In
This-
Uncle Buck.
I don't really.
In Cool Runnings.
I don't really have an answer for this. Can you be more?
All right, we'll say this.
What's your favorite movie in the last 5 years?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay, cool.
What's your favorite movie genre?
Can you be more specific with it?
Well, I don't. Genres aren't as solid as they used to be back in the day.
What's your favorite movie genre before?
I like sci-fi's a lot.
Okay, cool. That's it. You only can give answers. One word answer. You can't give explanations. What's your most anticipated movie of this year?
Oof. I'm looking forward to Suicide Squad.
All right. So that's it. He can't be on the podcast anymore. He's
Well, I thought that trailer was edited amazingly.
Mhm.
Like, and that really sold me with Bohemian Rhapsody and everything. So I'm really looking forward to that.
All right, I got your question.
Open up and say
Scarlett Johansson calls you, says she's pregnant with your child. What do you do?
Whoops.
Great answer. What does Kieran say? Edit that out. Never mind.
Whoops. No.
Whoops.
She says, "Do we get half the money then?"
This is true.
That's true.
Well, no, because he's not married. Do you think Ryan Reynolds should be as celebrated as much for cheating on Scarlett Johansson with Blake Lively.
Hell yeah.
Really? Blake Lively over Scarlett
That is
Johansson?
neither confirmed or denied, and he was with Blake after the divorce.
This was before the divorce. This is when they were shooting that sex movie.
Oh, Green Lantern?
Yeah.
Oh my god. If like Fox and Marvel get their shit together and Deadpool's in the Avengers. Ooh.
Yeah, no.
I want to see it.
No.
I want to see it. I want to see Scarlett Johansson.
Oh,
Ryan
yeah,
Reynolds.
no, he makes a great point.
I didn't even
At
think
that
about
point,
that.
I didn't follow that.
I didn't think about that one.
Just the inside of me was like,
Oh.
nope. What is... Ooh,
No,
I don't-
You don't think they have
Trust me.
any chance of working together on any other things?
They don't.
ever?
She can't stand him.
She can't. Yeah, she hates him.
Contractually with money? Like,
Hey,
No,
man.
she can easily just be like, there's writers in people's contracts.
Black Widow's dead.
This
I want a
ain't
CGI
old timey
Black
Hollywood,
Widow.
man. Old timey Hollywood. They would like fuck each other's like a new movie would be a new opportunity to fuck one of the
well,
stars. they never
I
did.
just
So,
read
someone
I read
else.
something that Dominic Monaghan lost because he couldn't work with Evangeline Lilly because they dated.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So there you go. That just answered your question.
But that's a show. Like, all right,
Well,
more questions.
Okay.
What question number 2? 5, 6, 5,
I forgot who asked the last
6.
question.
Oh, fuck, you did. What is your favorite comic storyline? And yeah, what is your favorite comic storyline? What is one book you can go back and read over and over again?
Court of Owls.
Okay.
That was simple. It was very simple. You are on a desert island. You find a...
Penis.
No.
I found a penis.
You find a dead body.
Okay, what's the question? What's your wrestling? Do you find a dead body? Yes. What's your entrance? What's your
There we
wrestling
go.
entrance theme?
Oh, I've actually thought about this.
Not quick. Apparently you didn't because you didn't give me an answer.
I actually thought about this, and I always thought something by Saliva would be cool, and then I
No,
remembered
you didn't.
Batista did it.
Oh, you did it.
every wrestling pay-per-view theme in the early 2000s was like Saliva.
You get one travel power. What is it? Teleportation, flight, super speed, or...
Multiple orgasms.
I already said teleportation.
Telekinesis.
No, telekinesis.
I have a
lame.
question for that question.
Digging.
Digging?
You can go underground.
You just barrel under the ground.
You could be the mole man.
I think digging is included with super speed.
No,
Take a shovel and just dig.
Yeah,
really
you're just really good at digging.
but you'll hit a gas pipe and
Well,
then that's it.
can't the Flash like spin really fast and
Yeah,
dig? Or
well, I
at
mean-
least Tasmanian Devil
All
can.
right, we'll take out digging, and you get a Spectrum
But that wasn't
motorcycle.
my question.
Or wait, Spectrum motorcycle, or suddenly you shoot webs out of your hands. And,
My question was, is Speed Force a thing with the speed?
No, you're getting too technical.
lots of things
Yeah,
get
you're
fucked
getting
up
way
with
too
You're getting too
Speed Force.
technical. You're
Getting way
getting
too technical.
Motherfucker, you can run from point A to point B.
you have. Let's
I
just
like
say
speed.
this.
Let's do
you have
speed.
a set speed, so it's not like you can
Sex
get.
speed?
You can't get faster, but you can go to a maximum velocity, and then that's it. Once you reach it, that's all you
I'm
get.
kind of torn between speed and flying.
I would get
If
teleportation.
you can do one more season of a show, and you have to choose between Arrow and Flash, what would you do?
Oh, Flash and a heartbeat.
Thank
Yeah,
God.
why? Who would fucking?
That
choose
was just to
Arrow?
redeem himself for the Suicide Squad thing.
What?
Because remember,
Hey, I didn't say Dawn of Justice.
well, I think the buzz on that movie's dying down.
I think so too. And
As it's getting closer, people are like, ugh.
I read at quite a few sources that Warner Brothers is kind of cringing upon it.
That was on the podcast that we talked about last week, where DC has a alternative plan if Dawn of Justice doesn't do as great as they expected. And
Which it
Warner
might
Brothers,
not.
this is what Warner Brothers has.
Oh my God, Civil War! I changed my answer.
Yeah, and that's why we were like, what? Get the fuck out. So we have this
Doctor
thing on this
Strange.
podcast where
Oh my God.
God, I can't wait for that shit.
But that's not coming this year. Though.
Yes, it is.
Is it this
Yeah.
year?
November.
Exactly. It's like what? Civil War and Doctor Strange.
Benedict-
Did you see those fucking set pictures too
Yeah,
of people
with the cape and
people
everything?
periscoping outside apartment buildings in London of the shooting? Of the shooting.
did
That
that
sounded
with-
really bad.
They
Of
did
the
that with
filming.
Benedict
they
Cumberbatch
did that
is
with
found
Luke
shot
Cage. Somebody they're shooting Luke Cage in Brooklyn right now, and
That's
somebody
awesome.
periscoped a set of Luke Cage to run someone through a car window. It's
Oh,
Are
amazing.
you sure it was really the
But
set of
it
Luke
was-
Cage and
it
not
was a
just
big black
random
bald
shit
guy.
that happens in
it was
That
cool
that
to see.
broke Jessica
it was
Jones's
cool to
back.
see Baron Mordo,
Mhm.
and it was cool. It was so cool to see Cumberbatch as Strange because he looks so good.
That's the
But
fanciest cape in
I'm really
movies.
hoping they confirm that Mads Mikkelsen is Dormammu because that would be fucking incredible.
I didn't even hear
Well, I have a
about
quick
that.
question
He's
for you.
confirmed in the movie.
But I didn't hear about Dormammu.
Yeah.
I hope that happens.
So sick. Oh
Because
my
I wanted
God.
Christopher Lee as Dormammu, and then he passed away, unfortunately.
So
Christopher Lee's dead?
you didn't know that? Wait. You didn't,
No, I do. I'm just messing.
So you're right, correct? If you can write one film for your wifey to make as a film, what
For
would you
her
do?
to make as a film?
Yeah.
I don't know. She's a writer herself.
Hateful Eight 2.
What?
Hateful Eight 2. The Hateful Eight.
The Hateful Kate? I don't know.
Hateful Kate.
She's a writer herself, and her style is very different from my style.
Okay.
But speaking of writing movies, there's 3 movies I've always wanted to make and or remake, and one of them is a remake from the very original Jekyll and Hyde, because I feel like we haven't really seen a Jekyll and Hyde movie recently, and it could be a really cool spin on the 1940s one.
Well, I mean, you can just, cast some really hot young actor to be Jekyll, and then he transforms into a really hot young actor.
And I really
Stefan, he
I
transforms
really
Stefan. It's like,
really want to make a BioShock movie.
Oh my God, that was sick.
I was so sad when that Gore Verbinski one went down the fucking drain.
Are you gonna see the Assassin's Creed movie?
Yeah, I'm down with it.
So look at that face.
I just see things, so I'd see it. And Michael Fassbender's awesome. And I think I'd want to remake The Rocketeer because I love The
Holy
Rocketeer.
shit! I forgot all about that movie.
Everybody has. It's such a good
fucked
movie,
up.
but everybody has. It's the sad truth.
Rocketeer.
But I always thought that after seeing Sucker Punch, that Zack Snyder would have a really cool.
After seeing
What-
Sucker Punch, I was like,
No,
somebody better not
after,
make this guy.
you know,
have a
after
movie.
seeing Sucker Punch and seeing how like the art style and the art direction of it, that I thought Zack Snyder would do a very good artistically of BioShock because it's almost the same color scheme and
Sucker Punch was the first movie to give me, not the first movie, but Sucker Punch is the reason why I had such a bad drinking experience that I pissed myself. That movie was so bad that I
Alright.
had to drink it out of my mind.
what a question for you.
You know who
guys.
would have made an excellent BioShock? Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del
Oh,
Toro? Yeah.
fuck yeah.
Oh
That
yeah.
would've been it.
He was on last week's Always Sunny in Philadelphia again.
Again?
He plays the
Did he
McPoyle's
direct?
father.
Did he direct the episode
No, but he's like the patriarch of the McPoyle family who are really
with a
fucked up.
Mexican accent?
No, you can't even tell it's him. He hides his accent and everything.
Danny DeVito was in the store.
He was in our store.
I met Guillermo in your store,
Really? Oh yeah, that's right.
and
He's been
he was amazing and talked to me for like 20 minutes. And
That's so sad.
But he was speaking some sort of
and
foreign
I was
language.
trying to like hold him off a little bit so he can get the fuck out of the back and talk to him.
Mhm.
And so I just kept talking to him, and it was a really, really good conversation about how much I admire Hellboy and stuff.
freaking
Because do you remember back when before the iPod Touch, there was the iPod Nanos, foot troll foot. The iPod Nano that was the square and had the wheel.
Mhm.
I had Hellboy
best
on
one.
that and would watch that over and over and over and over and over and over
On
as a
that
kid
tiny
on the
screen?
little tiny screen with with my
Jeez.
headphones, and he just loved that. And I told him how much I love practical effects, and I do that because of him.
Wow.
And then he was telling me about Hellboy 2 and that the Goblin Market is like the world record holder for largest practical set ever.
Wow.
And
Shit.
stuff. And after like talking to him about like Pacific Rim and Crimson Peak and all this shit, I forgot to ask him what about Justice League Dark. Because-
That shit's not happening.
Yeah, it's just not.
That Warner Brothers went, Jimmy, go fuck yourself.
No, did you see the rumored castings for that? Though?
Yeah, and I would love Swamp Thing so badly, but it's just DC doesn't like
It
us.
was I was
Well, no, I'm sorry, not DC, Warner Brothers.
it was Colin Farrell as Constantine, which
boo.
I can see but also can't see.
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor as Etrigan the Demon, which is really, really cool, I think.
Nah,
You got two bad faces.
Dead Man was the only one not casted.
Okay.
You know who I would cast as Dead Man?
Ron Perlman as Swamp Thing.
Okay.
Oh fuck, I'm getting old.
Yeah, sure.
You
can't be doing that.
And they said they didn't throw any castings about Zatanna or Zatara.
Because how he looked in Mad Max
Man
Fury
would
Road.
be cool
Dead Man's would obviously be the humor of that.
Yeah.
Dead Man should be played by the guy who does Beast, and he was in Mad Max.
Nick Holt.
Nick Holt.
Yeah.
Think of how he looks like in Mad Max.
Visually, yes. Voice, can't really see it.
Yeah, you could change his voice around. Mark Strong as Dead Man.
Jaguars.
Well, you know what?
All villains drive Jaguars.
Let's see how he does with fucking this movie he's doing with Sacha Baron Cohen. All right, and I guess I'll ask you one last question.
Yeah.
What is one
Your
of your
favorite Sacha Baron Cohen?
No, what is one of your favorite adventures you've had with me?
Oh, fuck.
We got drunk and we woke up next to Taiwanese ladyboys.
Disney?
Yeah, Disney was pretty fun. Yeah, I still have the picture of you just petrified going down the Splash Mountain. He is just like
You poor
Brendan, how much of that trip did we tell you? Like, did we tell you anything from that
Zero.
trip? Brendan was the hype train of that trip. And it was his first time ever going to Disney, too. And was waiting, while we were waiting on lines, we're getting the crowd to chant stuff. And we had a chant of our own that we would yell everywhere. Do you want to say it?
Didn't work.
And so the three of us would do it, and while on rides, Brendan would do this really amazing Mickey Mouse impression.
Oh boy, we're gonna go down. But you know what's crazy? That before the "His name is John Cena" meme took off, we would sing John Cena's theme on every ride. And then like a month or two after that, the John Cena meme is everywhere.
We were thinking after I was fucking petrified of Splash Mountain, but I got over it this trip, and we were like, what's something that we could do that we can just kind of troll everyone and going down Splash Mountain? And I was like, there's a Kmart right down the street. What if we go to Kmart and all get John Cena shirts?
We were talking about where could we get wrestling shirts in Florida.
And I was like, we should all get matching John Cena shirts and just all go down and do the "you can't see me" face or something.
So I'm in the back of the van that we were in, and I'm like, holy shit, down the road from Golden Corral, there's a fucking Kmart. They have WWE merchandise. So we drove to this like really sketchy Kmart. It looked like somebody just built a Kmart and was like, well, we'll just call it Kmart.
But the funny part of that was that the John Cena shirts were child sizes.
Yeah.
Aww.
And
for
some reason, I fit into a child's extra large, which is about the same as an adult medium, is what I'm wearing right now. And Brendan and my other friend and his other friend Matt had to
out to Matt.
Had to cut the shirts and the sleeves to be able to get their arms through and stuff. And
that shirt, so do you know what that shirt?
I still have that shirt.
That shirt is not really cut for me. It's because I ended up putting up the other shirt over it. Your dad is the one that we had to cut the whole shirt off of him.
Yeah.
He was wearing it like a kind of like, you know how Neville goes into the ring as a shirt. He has it like that. But yeah.
All right, can I just ask you guys one more question before we end?
Make it quick.
Who is your favorite superhero portrayal that's not a main character?
Beast in X-Men, the last X-Men.
Yeah, you already know what I'm gonna say.
Beast. Hawkeye? Yeah. You like
Jeremy Renner?
I thought Jeremy Renner shined a lot in Age of Ultron.
You know what's funny? When they first casted Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye, I was actually really pissed off. Because, like...
He's purple in Civil War now.
Yeah, he is, I know, which is like... Yeah. But, Jeremy Renner has this kind of, like, pitbull face. Like, just, like really shrunken and, like...
Just not
like, cause like Clint in the comics is a very like clean cut, like edged face, and
my answer to that was Mark Strong Sinestro, because he fucking disappeared. He disappears in that movie, and he is the only
diamond in a stack
he was
of
the
turds.
only good,
seriously
the only watchable thing.
The only good
movie
thing about that
is
whole
Mark
movie.
Strong.
Yeah, I agree. That was actually really good. He did really good with that role.
What about like non-Marvel DC comic book adaptions?
Kingsman Secret Service.
I was gonna say the same
Number
thing.
one.
Yeah.
Remember we went to go see that shit? And
We saw that
Some
3
dudes
times.
freaking
Brendan.
snored in the background.
That shit
of
was
the
kinda
whole
funny.
That
fucking
church
movie.
scene to Freebird is one of the greatest sequences I've ever seen.
For me, it was Scott Pilgrim for the longest until I saw Secret Service. Like, Secret Service was one of my favorite movies last year. I think it was the best comic book movie last year.
One of the best action movies
You didn't
I've
like
ever seen.
Kick-Ass?
I love Kick-Ass.
It's the same director.
The first-
Yeah, it is.
I love Kick-Ass. That's one of my favorite Nick Cage performances was Kick-Ass.
Matthew Vaughn has this new movie out right now with
Eddie the Eagle?
Joel Edgerton. Yeah,
Taron Egerton.
Taron Edgerton. Yeah, I want to see that Eddie the Eagle.
Yeah.
It's getting really good shit. But with that, guys, you can follow Jimmy Gooey Poopie at.
My Instagram is Gubitosi. That's Gubitosi, and that's also my Snapchat name. But my Twitter has a V in between the J and the G.
Just like Jimmy still has his V.
The
Yes.
V and the J and the G.
Anyway, you can follow us at.
I don't even feel like fighting that one. It's not
That was
worth
a
it.
good one, though. It was
It's
a
really
really
good
good one.
You can follow us at the Uptown Strangers, or obviously where you're watching this podcast right now, on the Instagrams, Twitters, Reddits, and all the rest.
And just for you guys, I'm going to give you guys a clip of my movie before I release it. So,
Hey.
so you guys will get first licks of that.
We have an exclusive interview
with Harrison Ford.
No,
Oh, you fucked it up.
Damn it.
and
I was
maybe,
waiting for Jim to go fuck off.
and maybe to closer in May or April when the movie releases, we can do a whole podcast about it.
We could do a
Oh,
Can we
no.
do a Mystery Science Theater?
Okay.
Oh,
I'm fine with that.
fun.
Jimmy's short film. It's just like,
I'm fine
oh,
with
look
that.
at this.
Oh, what's going on over here?
It's like I'll be able to do commentary on it too and say stories and stuff. But
See, you just invited trouble. Don't.
I don't care.
Because you'll be very serious about it, and Brenden and I will be like,
No, there's not so
Poopy
serious
heads.
things to do.
Can you know what we should release on our channel that we and you shot? The Frangwin.
I gotta. It's not finished, but we could release it.
So we shot.
I don't want to finish it.
We shot this thing. Yeah, no.
We're literally missing one shot.
So finish it. You might as well.
He looks so different.
That's fine. That'd be the great. No, you don't.
That'd be
Gotta,
great, actually.
you could just throw a wig on me.
Oh, so if,
1 hour later.
yeah, that's a whole story in its own that I'm not gonna get into now. I don't think. But
Whatever.
I can tell it how Frangwin was originated.
Oh no, we'll leave it at that
Nah.
because we gotta go
Next
All
time,
right,
baby.
guys. So,
for the same podcast channel. Whatever.
Same
fuck
bad
yeah.
time, same bad channel.
Thank you.
same better time, same better channel.
Uptown Strangers on the YouTubes, guys, and always remember, don't forget to punch back.